remember to hit record this time. How we doing, family? What's up, everybody? Oh boy. I don't know about y'all, but when the especially during this time of year, especially during this kind of when the transits have, and this only happens technically 6 times during the calendar year, when the transits have a sun and an earth. Oh, that's a beautiful sun. A sun and an earth that are creating a channel. This happens with the 3740, the 4323, and the 3420. And it happens during 5-day windows out of the year. 5 or 6 days, transits. Anyway, I am so lit. I'm always so lit because it's like, not that they're necessarily always going to be balanced within me, but I feel it in everyone else. And it's just very exciting. Larry, what's up, my brother? Bells, hey there, just wanted to say I watched your Sitting in Silence video and it helped me so much. Bells, that's so wonderful. I'm so happy. Did that happen today? Was that, have you been sitting much with it? Tell me more, tell me more. I mean, I'm always so, and I meditate every day. I'm always so blown away how impactful and helpful just sitting in silence is. And especially with, when you start to infuse the senses, smelling, swallowing, blowing this cool stream of air. I mean, it's just like we have antidepressants built into us. All we have to do is just move our body in the right way, or not move our body for long enough of a time. So a couple weeks ago now, TBH, I need to remind myself to do it more now. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I love to do, I don't know if you guys are into this. Larry, you said you skipped yours yesterday. Guilt is a motivator, at least for me. And so when I feel guilty about something, then I come back 10 times as hard. So, but what I like to do is I use Notion, and you can use any habit tracker that you like. I like Notion because there's so many like customizable options in Notion. And I will go in and just like click a check mark, and then I'll get to see out of the past 3 years, I've done 80% of it. Because here's something interesting is like, life is not necessarily about perfection, of course. It's about participation. And you can measure participation and then you put a judgment on it. See, what most people do is they don't measure the participation and they put a judgment on it. I'm doing good. I'm not doing good. Well, what's the data to support that? Oh, I just feel that way. Feelings are very fluid. They're very volatile. Not that you can't count on feelings, not that feelings aren't real. They're just volatile. Numbers, data, I did this today, or I didn't do this today. I did something else. That stuff is so important to track. And I use Notion to track all that stuff. My activities, my calendar, which I forgot to do that. We're going live now for at least an hour. You guys want an hour? I also uploaded, I've done a lot this morning. The reason I started off the live that way is because I'm saying I did a lot this morning. And especially as a reflector, and all of the, what I consider to be sort of, not necessarily propaganda, but it's like people speaking for reflectors. Like Ra was a manifester. And so, theoretically speaking, everything, and also just reality based because he can't be somebody else. Everything that he shared with us about human design is through the perspective of a 5-1 manifester. Everything that I'm sharing with you is through the perspective of a 3-5 reflector. And it doesn't mean his information is wrong. Like, for instance, I have a ball right here. We can both agree that this thing is spherical, but from my perspective, it says Decathlon Pilates. From your perspective, you see a barcode and a bunch of symbols and Chinese symbols and stuff. Still true, but different perspectives of the same truth, right? So this is where human design can become problematic, because instead of people seeing that human design is and the Human Design School and the Jovian Archive and the IHDS, International Human Design School, is the collection of people's experiments, it doesn't necessarily mean that's truth. If you are able to cross-reference it with your own experience, and other people are able to cross-reference it with their own experience, now we're starting to scratch at truth. And so what is so beautiful about the time that we're at now is that we can now gather data and analyze data in one of the most amazing ways possible. And the reality is, our bodies and our organs have always had this ability. There's somebody in your life right now that smells a certain type of way, that your body has gathered enough data around that, that the instant you smell that person or someone that reminds you or something that reminds you of that person, you either shut down or light up. Think about it. Think about the way your partner, the person you love, the person that you want to be intimate with regularly, think about the way they smell. Tell me if there isn't a shift in your chemistry and biology when you, oh, that's data. And specifically, it's the data coming in through the things we see, smell, and taste, being swallowed into the body. It's the response from our organs. When it's your partner, maybe your, sexual self lights up. If it's a smell that reminds you of your mother, maybe something in the organ like your heart swells and you start to get nostalgic. Or maybe you don't have a great relationship with your mother and your heart starts to close down and feel cold. The reality is we are data gathering machines. Our human bodies are data gathering machines. And one of the reasons why that silent sit for 10 minutes thing is so powerful is because in 10 minutes you are going to have so many just like points of gathering data, so many thoughts, which is just awareness. And again, awareness is data, energy is data, identity, what you manifest, everything is data. And the better you can get at surrendering to the way that you gather data as an individual, the better you can get at manifesting whatever it is that you're supposed to manifest. My uncle had a certain smell. I love it. I smell it and I'm straight back into childhood, right? The part of our brain that holds memories as well is adjacent. It is right next to the sinuses. One of the reasons why smells hold the memories so well is because the oil factories that gather the data from the smell are right underneath where we hold our memories. It's freaking wild, guys. The human body is the best data gathering machine on the planet, biological machine on the planet. This is why we're the top of the food chain. It's not because we're superior at anything other than getting information into the body and knowing what to do with it. Now, for instance, there are life forms such as like the eagle or the hawk that have better eyes for gathering visual data. Dogs, I think, have like 100 or 200 times better sense of smell than us. However, their ability to process that data is different than ours. It happens by similar mechanisms, but there are layers that us as conscious human beings have that allow us to, for instance, smell something that makes us nostalgic and feel warm. And that nostalgia and feeling warm will then activate another memory of having somebody see that and crush it. And then even though that person isn't in your life or physically there, you will crush yourself. This is what we call conditioning. And our mind does this as a protective mechanism. It might not be the best thing that you can do. However, it is one of the things that's like the purpose of the mind, is to protect you. It is familiar. It is what you're used to. It is the paths that your brain and your neurons and your synapses have created for you already. So, hey, can you give me the hack for MGs to bring in manifestations, Kira? Yeah, so Kira, it's all about your sacral. It's all about listening to the uh-huhs and uh-uhs. One thing about manifesting generators is that, it's important for you guys not to get pigeonholed into like, oh, this is my thing. This is my satisfying thing. Like, you can feel that way. That's fine. But oftentimes it will be your thing for a bit and then something else will be your thing. You just got to surrender to that. Smelling a scent similar to my mom or dad's perfumes always make me feel in the moment with them. Yeah, I have that too. There's an AI that says human design talk, ask about data. What the heck? Interesting. Yeah, and so we get a lot of conditioning from our mom and dad. Like for instance, if your parents asked you often, "What are you doing?" That becomes the thing that you say in your head a lot. What are you doing? What are you doing? So with me, Marco, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this is where one of my favorite things that I've learned as a parent in the age where we are actually studying child development, we are attempting to gather as much data as we can so that we can understand the development of a child's brain as best as we can. One of my favorite little nuggets is that if you say, "Honey, you need to take a breath," that's what plays in their head. So they're looking at you saying, "Honey, you need to take a breath." Your kids are saying exactly what you're saying. If you say, "I'm going to take a breath so that I can calm down," what are they going to say? They're going to say, "I'm going to take a breath so I can calm down." They are mirroring us. That's why they're our greatest teachers. It's not because they have wisdom to download us with necessarily. It's because they are going to mirror and show us what we are doing. So if you have children, don't stop asking them what they're doing. Observe. I see you're standing on one leg. Stop assigning them feelings. Oh, you look happy doing that. It's like there's a big smile on your face. Can you tell me why you're smiling? Do you want to tell me how you're smiling? Being a parent is lit, guys, by the way. If your life feels stagnant, find a good person that like loves you for who you are, which I don't believe is as hard as everyone thinks. Have babies. Found your nervous system regulation video randomly and it really helped me. I do it and I do EFT. Yes, the tapping, my lord. So important. Um, so important to like just recognize how much of an impact we have on our children. Narcissism. Oh, I know narcissism, definitely. Being a parent is the hardest job. It's rewarding but hard. Right. Like, so many, I feel like society today looks at children as a burden. And because of that, no one can handle burdens. No one can, people want to be strong physically so that people think they're strong, not so that they can actually do things that are hard. So, Danny, you're saying they are demons. Are you asking if they're demons or are you projecting that they are demons? And what is a demon to you? So funny when kids hit you with something you didn't realize was was well received. Dude, my kid says the funniest stuff. She called me a genius the other day, which I was funny because I was like, why did she call me a genius? Who did she hear me call a genius? And I was like, oh, whenever I talk about my partner Pasha, not all the time, but I call him a genius a lot. I call my beloved, her mother, I call her mother a genius all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's such a cool reflection. I love it. I'm in Hawaii and it is 11:20. No soul. Let's see, so much negative energy. So here's the thing about narcissism, guys. Um, what a lot of, and this is just my perspective. So if you have a different perspective and you want to argue it in the chat, by all means. Um, and I've had a lot of experience with narcissism, and as a core knowingness for me, I don't believe that anybody is inherently evil. I believe that people are led astray by ignorance. And I see a lot of times that narcissistic behaviors and tendencies stem from an insecurity. And it doesn't excuse the behavior. But if we're going to play this, you're a demon, you have no soul, you have all this negative energy, we are going to be contributing to more of that behavior. The thing is, like, whatever you resist persists. Because the part of you that is resisting what is going on is not seeing what's actually going on. And I say this as somebody who has resisted narcissism in other people, and I've also witnessed it come out in myself. I've witnessed narcissistic behaviors in myself. And I have endeavored to root out the insecurities that cause me to have narcissistic behaviors, which oftentimes is, look, I don't want to hear what you're saying. You might be saying things that are logically sound and make sense, but they are undermining the identity that I've worked hard to build. So again, it's a protective mechanism. I said this yesterday. You don't need to protect yourself from something that is not a threat to you. If a toddler comes up and punches you, you don't need to drop kick the toddler. The toddler is not a threat to you. As a parent, if I want my kid to do something and they say no, which she does a lot, I don't need to drop kick her. I'm not talking physically, emotionally, mentally. I don't need to overpower her. What I have chosen to do is seek to understand where I'm attempting to control her or get her to do something and leave something because she doesn't want to do. And then I can acknowledge that, honey, I see you really are loving playing in the river. And it's starting to rain, and there's a big branch above us that whenever it starts to rain, that branch has the risk of breaking, and I want to keep us safe. That's my intention. It's not, oh, you need to listen to me. And also, it's like, you know, from the 2 or 3 times that I have like raised my voice at my daughter, I've always felt terrible about it afterwards. Takes one to know one. Yeah. I would also say that like narcissists oftentimes will defend themselves against the projection. They'll say, I'm not a narcissist. Like if someone were to call me a narcissist, I'd be like, oh, that's fascinating. What behaviors do you feel like I am showing you that you would call me a narcissist? I really want to know. Because I don't want to be a narcissist. It's really funny. As a reflector too, I get this sometimes. I don't get it as much because I'll entertain anything, but I also have really good things to entertain. So I usually spend my time entertaining those things rather than bad stuff. So many people have those tendencies and they're not bad people. They just see things from their point of view. Right. Yeah. And that's, you know, who can blame them? There's probably some trauma in their experience that for them, it makes perfect sense why they have to behave that way. And if you're not here to grow, what are you here for, my friend? But why do they hurt people? Because they're hurt. This is how it works, right? I'm hurting, and so I'm gonna hurt people. Why would I do that? If I'm hurt, I should know it doesn't feel good to be hurt. Ah, but what feels worse than being hurt is being misunderstood and being alone. So if I can hurt you, now you know how it feels. Now we can relate. Trauma, it's a survival instinct a lot of the time. Yeah, for most people, it's a survival instinct. And the hurting thing is a way of also keeping people from getting close enough to ask the question, hey, who hurt you and what happened? Because the way the brain works, it's like we have to, if something happens to us, we have to like make up a story about it that explains why that happened. Well, my dad used to beat me and throw me across the room. Why did he do that? Because I'm a bad person. I'm a bad kid. I never lived up to his expectations. Like, is that the truth with a capital T, or is that your perception of it? Maybe your dad was hit. Maybe your dad was struggling with something that you didn't know about. Maybe he just took his rage out on you and there is no like logical explanation. But if you stay in that story, you get to keep playing the victim. And that's really where narcissism, I see it play out a lot, right? Because you have a narcissist and then you have the victim. And what happens a lot of the time is that the victim and the narcissist thrive off each other. It's like a parasitic relationship that goes two ways. And it creates opportunities for the narcissist and the victim to be able to play out these narratives that uphold the identity that they have fallen in love with and become attached to. Happy to catch you live for the first time. Yes, I just started going live again, fam. So it's awesome. You seem like an amazing person. I certainly hope so. I do my best, and I also surround myself with people that are also doing their best. So, oh my God, I saw you here maybe a year ago, and I'm happy I find you again. Yeah, if you're enjoying this, make sure you follow me. And if you like what I'm sharing here, by the way, guys, I have a community on School. Um, Come check it out. It's free. We also have courses and live calls that we do where we talk and we teach you guys what we call sensory design, which is if you're into human design, this is like if you like ice cream, this is the milkshake of it, or ice cream sundae. Basically, what we're doing is we're exploring how different sensory maneuvers and different biomechanics patterns help us to unlock our body graph. So, for instance, if you have an undefined head and ajna, right, you're always absorbing people's inspiration and problems. You're always trying to convince people that you're certain or you can't achieve certainty. There are eye drills that you can do that instead of spinning your mind out and burning out on trying to convince people you're certain or solve other people's problems, you can just do the eye drill. And typically by the end of the eye drill, you don't care so much about convincing somebody of your certainty or solving other people's problems. It's really phenomenal stuff. So come check it out, guys. It's called The Archive. The link is in my bio. So, but why he won't that I'm happy? He wants that. Isn't he happy? The no love, he loves drama. You love drama too, fam. Like with all the love in my heart, the narcissist and victim relationship, like unless you're chained to the basement, and you're physically a prisoner. I forget, there's a term for that. In duress, I think is the term maybe. Let me look it up. In duress. Duress, yeah, okay, I think that's the word. So unless you're being held in duress, under duress, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Unless you're being held under duress, the 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 narcissist and victim dynamic, those are one and the same. Those are one and the same. Because I can very easily spin it this way. Let's say like I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm accusing them of being a narcissist, right? Let's just say I'm in your shoes. I love that you just followed me, by the way. Thank you for that. I will never, I will do my best not to pull punches because I want to project that you can handle the truth because most people will not project that. They will project that you need protection and they will treat you like a little kid, which doesn't serve you. We're all grown people here. But let's go into this example because this is good and I get really like I get chills when people are open to this kind of stuff because there's a chance that you would just be like, oh my God, no, screw that. The fact that you're like, I'm into this, let's go, shows me that you're willing to grow. So let's explore this. If I'm the victim in a narcissistic relationship, I have somebody who is quote unquote abusing me, they're crushing my happiness, etc. The only reason they're able to crush my happiness is because I don't have boundaries with myself. I don't have boundaries and standards that say, hey, if someone is going to habitually crush my happiness, I'm walking away. That's the standard. If you crush my happiness, and this is for my life, if you crush my happiness, you see I'm stoked on something, and you say, Marco, you shouldn't be stoked about that, man. That's not gonna last. Here's what I will say back to you as my healthy embodied version. I will say, hey man, I was really excited about that. That really was deflating for me. Why did you feel the need to do that? And if they say something along the lines of, "Oh, well, I'm just trying to protect you from getting all high up on a pedestal and then being pushed off. I'm just trying to save you the disappointment." I would say something along the lines of, "Okay, well, that's not helpful. Now I'm upset. If you decide that that's a what you want to keep doing that, trying to protect me from getting high up on a pedestal and falling off, we don't have to be friends anymore. We don't have to have the relationship that we had." And I say this also to take you back. There have been instances that are literally that, where I've had people, mentors of mine, saying, "Marco, don't get too excited about this thing." And what I did, instead of saying, "Hey, that's not really helpful for me," instead of like standing up for myself, I said, "Okay, well, let me look at this. Maybe they're right." And you know what's fucked up? To a degree, they were right. To a degree, happiness doesn't last. To a degree, I did fall off the pedestal. And so here's where I am now. I am in the place where I can say, "Hey, you know what? Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to look at that. And if you're going to try and like protect me from being happy, we don't need to be friends." And this is after repeated offenses, right? Because here's the thing: a lot of people are just relating to you based off, everyone is relating to you based off of the way that you let them. If you let them walk all over you, they'll just keep walking all over you. And they might not even know the impact that they're having. And so if you have a narcissist in your life, or if you have somebody in your life that thinks you're a narcissist, this is where mediation comes in really well. Because the reality is that the roles are flipping back and forth. The victim and narcissist roles are flipping back and forth. Sometimes you're the narcissist, sometimes they're the victim. Sometimes they're the victim, sometimes you're the narcissist, right? And if you acknowledge that, hey, there's this loop, we're using each other as pacifiers, thinking that we're getting nourishment from a breast and milk like a baby, but instead it's just a pacifier. That's what it is. And the means of it is to uphold an identity. And so if you look at what that identity is that you're so in love with and so attached to, and you start to practice detachment from the identity, which is not the same as practicing non-attachment. Non-attachment says, I'm not going to get attached, and so I never get close to anyone. Practicing detachment says, I will get close to you, knowing that at some point I will have to detach from you, and it will be painful and there will be grief, but that I'm a big boy and I can do it, because the attachment is worth it. Play in shallow waters, can't do much diving. Okay, shallow waters are shallow for a reason. It's safe, but it's shallow. Deeper waters are deep. You could drown in there. But there's a lot more going on there. And I have judgments about people that stay in the shallows. And it's not disdain. It's not oh, what an idiot. It's just literally, oh, hey, you like to play in the shallows. Are you afraid of going in the deep water? What would going in the deep water do? What's happening there? It's like more childlike. I'm just like, oh, that's, you just don't know. You don't know how to swim yet. That's why you don't go in the deep water. And sometimes, for most people, especially in this like victim narcissist mentality, it's much easier to just say, oh, they're a demon. They have all this negative energy. And they're siphoning off my positive energy. Until you meet people, and you have to let go of that idea and that identity, right? You have to, if you want to experience people that are going to see your light and be like, not crush it, right? Not try and take away your happiness, but to be like, hey, let me give you more reasons to be happy. You have to be willing to take responsibility. And so let me show you how to play. Nikki, that's a beautiful one. Yeah. While we are all ears open here, definitely needed to hear this. Yeah. And this is not just in romantic relationship, but this is in business as well. And work professional dynamics and stuff. Yes, I judge people who stay in the shallows too. I think it's because I feel lonely because I'm in an ocean and people can't meet me in my depths. Ash, super honest. I love that. One of the things that I went through in the beginning of my Reiki awakening, this was back in 2012, was I endeavored to try and wake people up to the point where I was like, sometimes physically shaking people and being like, you need to wake up. And what I realized was that I am going to meet people that are going to reflect the depth of connection that I'm capable of. And I'm going to experience the types of things that my nervous system is comfortable with experiencing. So if there is something that is an immense blessing, but my nervous system doesn't know how to handle it, I'm unintentionally going to avoid it, which sucks. It really sucks. Because I've done that a lot in my life. But since I have started training my senses, since I have been using my human design, and especially since I've been training sensory design, which was developed primarily by my partner Pasha, and now I'm kind of like in the, throwing spices in there now and then. My nervous system gets direct training. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about when I say direct training for the nervous system. So just fill your cheeks up with air. Smell. Turn your head to the left as far as you can, and then swallow. Keep your eyes facing forward. Keep the pressure in your cheeks the whole time. I'm just releasing them to talk. Swallow again. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've never done that before, that was probably challenging. Feel the sensation in your cheeks. Feel the sensation in your throat. Don't get caught up on the fact that, oh, that felt weird. What is that? I need to know. Self-empowerment. Let's go. My Marco universe is expanding. Let's go. Gotta practice these things more regularly. It's hard to hold. Right. And so here's the thing: is it's hard to hold until you get stronger. That's the beauty of it. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. And the greatest part about it too is that as you get stronger, you get access to quote unquote stronger enemies, stronger adversaries, more dangerous environments, because you're getting stronger. And every one of your adversaries that defeats you, it's just like a video game. You can either say, well, screw this game, I'm not playing anymore. Right? Like if you're overwhelmed easily or you overthink a lot, well, I'm just going to try and not think. I'm just going to not go to places where there's more than 4 people. Versus saying, you know what? I need to upgrade my skills. I need to learn the boss's moveset. I need to get better gear. I need to get more experience. And in a game, it's so easy. It's because it's a game. It's not your life. There's not an identity. You build an avatar that's separate from you. But with your own identity, it's inside. This is why it helps to have a mirror, right? I want to be stronger. Danny, you can 100% do it. So again, anyone that wants to be stronger, by the way, come join the archive. It's my free community. There's a paid end as well. It's only $37, but the community itself is free. You can learn a little bit about sensory design. And if you like that, you can pay the $37 and you can get access to the course. You can get access to live classes and stuff like that. And you can get support. I signed up to learn how to sing. Dude, so sensory design has made my singing voice so much better. Like I enjoy the sound of my voice more, but I also more so, there we go, Jess Smooth, welcome to the party. Also, I enjoy the feeling of singing so much more. Like I love singing now because it's not just this like, oh, look at me, look at me. It's also a satisfaction down here. It's also a moving of pressure and release of stress for me. It's also a way to express feelings and stuff. So I need help from my nervous system. It's broken and I'm scared of all noises. Oh, dude, yeah. Definitely need this. Being in tune does help things be so much more enjoyable. And so here's the thing, and this is a great example of like, because that term is very intense, right? It's like batteries, right? Batteries aren't broken, they die. That's a Dimitri Martin joke. But anyway, your nervous system is not broken. It's just not plugged in. Like I could look at a lamp that's not plugged in and say that lamp is broken. Or I could go plug the lamp in and then turn some things on. Maybe the bulb isn't working. Maybe the cable is mangled and needs to be reattached. Maybe the filament inside the light bulb, or maybe the voltage is off. Maybe there's too much energy and it blows the bulb. So there are things beyond it's broken that you can explore. Like how is it broken? What exactly is it? What is it that I can like plug back in? And so a lot of people associate a problem to their personality or their identity or who they are. There's something specifically wrong with me. Not true. Not true. Most of the times, it's just a neurological dysfunction. It's just something is not plugged in. For instance, if you look up to the left, there's a part of your mind that says, "Oh, don't look up to the left. Why not? Oh, because my mom said that my eyes are going to get stuck there. Oh, because it's mildly uncomfortable. Oh, because my eyes get really dry. Because it feels like the mind will do so many things just to try and protect you from something that it doesn't understand and it doesn't know. And we would not be here today if we always listened to our minds. I say that as a species. If we did not learn to trust our instinct, we would not be here. Humanity has actually digressed from being a very instinctual body-based animal to a mental being. And we've created societies from the mental. Oh, this is the ideal society. Socialism. The government controls everything and everyone gets what they need. And yet, in practice, you guys know what happens. I'm not saying it's a dumb idea. I'm saying that unless we have the nervous systems to actually embody the information that we know in our brain, we will always manifest a fractured illusion. We will always manifest a sliver of what actually we know. And this is why, especially with human design, the more you know doesn't necessarily mean you can apply that knowledge. So come do some exercises with us in the archive and get your chakras actually aligned. Have we really digressed? Maybe it's part of evolution. 500 years we worship the sun. Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a digression, but it's like life has these arcs, right? In the sense of like civilizations have rises and falls. And we are currently, and human design tells us this as well, we are currently in a falling. We are currently getting ready to transition into an era, an age called the Sleeping Phoenix, where it's so much more about the individual sovereignty, the individual experience. And people are going to become rallied around true relating with each other, as opposed to, oh yeah, we all go to Costco. We're all Costco members. We're all Americans. We're all Christians. And you see it today. You see it today. You see the Christians or the Muslims or the Buddhists, whoever, starting to look up and be like, you know what? Even though all these people that I've spent my whole life with are Christian and I'm Christian, I feel more familiar. I feel more in resonance with those people over there who are not Christian. Let me go explore that. We're cross-pollinating. And the mind doesn't necessarily like that. Because, for instance, there was a time in Japan where if you were found worshiping, just worshiping in general, because Buddhists in Japan, they didn't do that. If you were found praying to Jesus or praying to God, they would literally unalive you. Literally. There were times when it was so hostile to do something outside of the tribal norms and be an individual that they would literally string you up and make you an example of you. And our minds remember and our bodies remember. Today it is different. And we are moving into a world where it will fundamentally be different. That's why you're seeing so many of the infrastructures, financial systems, medical systems, they've been falling apart for the past like 2 or 3 generations. And we are in the twilight. We are in the dusk that precedes a new dawn. Like a phoenix, we shall rise from the ashes. And so my thing with the archive is to be prepared. Let us remind you that you are already healing. You don't need anything else to heal other than the willingness to accept the stage of healing that you're at and the next step. That's it. I don't have anything to sell you that you don't already have. If anything, the thing I'm selling you is discernment, so that you don't get on this app and be like, oh, I need to buy this guy's course. Maybe this guy's course can help me. Maybe this guy's course can help me. I'm like, hey, sit for 10 minutes alone and do these simple drills. If you like the way that feels, come check out more of what we're doing, which is just connecting to the body, getting your lungs and your heart to meet and not be neighbors that hate each other. Thank you so much. Love you. You're a beautiful soul. Danny, much love to you. I hope to see you in the archive and all this. Is life a game? Should we think so? I'm a little medium. I see a lot, but not myself. Are you saying like you're a medium, like you're psychic, or that you can channel other people's energies? So, for instance, like life being a game, and I can say it this way: it's not necessarily like a video game, like a simulation. I think they've since disproven that science, which you got to be worried about science, because the scientific method, which is create a theory, attempt to disprove the theory, and if you're unable to disprove the theory, that's the working theory. It's almost like infinity. We're going to approach the truth, but we know that we can never touch it because we are of the world. Okay? Unity is not something we can achieve within duality. It's the expression of unity through duality of evil and good. You need evil and good to have source. They draw their energies from the same source. So it's not necessarily like we're in a simulation, but it is very much so like a game in that you have your avatar and your avatar is unique. Your the character you play as, depending on your choices, you are going to have a unique set of skills that you can use in the world. And based off your unique set of skills, you're going to be able to quote unquote team up with other people and start businesses or families. And that's what we do as humans. We either start families or we start businesses. Again, businesses as like a more general rule of thumb is, charities can fit under there, churches, whatever. It accomplishes a function, right? Like there's a business that makes this device. They make this product. It's not a family, it's a business. Why is it not a family? Well, because they're not having, this is not alive. Their product is not alive. A family's product is the children and the result of the family as a result of that project, as a result of that product. Weird to say that, but but there's parallels in it. And so based off of that, based off of your body graph, what you can do is you can learn, okay, is my emotional way of being more defined, meaning that my emotions are here for me to process, or is it more undefined, meaning that my emotional experience is going to be instigated by other people. It's going to be helped by other people. It's going to be about others. And it's going to typically be initiated by others versus the more defined emotional beings. Like half of the world is defined in the solar plexus, meaning that they have the stamina, they have the awareness to move through their own emotions. That's what they're here to do. Half of the world is emotionally undefined, meaning what they're here to do is experience that same kind of like emotional wave, but not all the time. Not all the time. They learn this by burning out. They learn this by avoiding the truth and then confronting the truth, and then confronting the truth so much that they're so tired they have to sleep for a week. So how can I come back to your session? I think you can help me with myself. I never did that before. Vuyo, so I would say, man, follow me, number one. Come join the archive. That's my community. And you can get the support you need. Wherever you're at, if you're willing 100%, I feel like you can help yourself. And I can watch you and post fun gifts and comment on it. So why can I talk to dead souls or hear things? What happened? I feel so lonely. So Danny, I totally feel you. These are gifts of yours, being able to, kind of like pierce the veil in a way. The thing about a gift is that if you don't properly cultivate a gift, it becomes a curse. It's like if you have music inside you, but you never use or share the music, it becomes this pressure that builds up with you. You know? So, for instance, being able to talk to dead souls, it might feel like a burden right now. And so, what I want to do is flip the script. Like, for instance, if there is any person that has passed that you would be excited to talk to or that you would want to talk to, a grandparent, an ancestor, somebody from history that you're curious about talking to, there's a way to safely make that connection and start to cultivate that gift. And not to say that, like, oh, that's a rare gift, not many people can do that, but when that stuff starts to happen, there's typically two routes, right? You either cultivate the gift or you pick some distraction, which could be your quote unquote narcissistic relationship. So what do the two different types of heart teach each other? Oh, great question. So the defined heart, people with defined hearts, y'all are here to build the hierarchies, be the best, be in control, be first, deliver the goods. Like you're here to, like, I'm gonna do that, and I do it, and I feel good about it. The undefined heart is here to recognize who is actually doing that. Like, who's doing things because their heart keeps them up at night so that they can do them, and who is doing things because they're trying to prove themselves. That's what the undefined heart is here to do. With a defined heart, oftentimes they have trouble with over-promising and under-delivering, right? They spread themselves too thin, or they say something that they don't really want to do, but they really want to prove themselves. The undefined heart will also have that problem. They're trying to prove themselves. Each center has a theme and a not self theme. For the heart, it's going to be worth. That's the theme. So the not self expression of worth is proving worth to other people. The defined heart doesn't say, I'm going to do that. And then they do it. And they feel good about it because other people want them to do it. They do it because of the feeling that they get when they bring bread to the table, when they complete a project. They do it for themselves. Not to say that they're not thinking about other people, but for somebody with a defined heart that is yet to accept, hey, I do things because I'm here to build my ego in a healthy way and be the best, to be in control, to be first, to be the one that delivers the goods. Those are the four gates in the heart. Until you accept that, if you have a defined heart, accept that you are here to have an ego. Everyone has an ego, and whether your centers are defined or undefined, everyone has these centers as organs in their body. When you accept that about yourself, hey, I've got an ego, then you start to ask yourself, what am I feeding my ego? When do I feed it? Why do I feed my ego? And when you get beyond the, like, oh, having ego is bad. A lot of stuff in spirituality is super shallow, by the way. New Age, you guys probably know that if you're here. And that was my introduction. My introduction to spirituality was, some New Age community type stuff. Love and light. Because that's all real. Love and light is real. It's not the only thing that's real, but it is real. So I can see dead souls from other people too and hear voices. Should I live my gift or protect? I say live your gift, dude. Because again, it's like, it's not like that will stop happening. It's like this. You can put it this way. If there's a snake in your room, do you want to know where the snake is? If there's a poisonous snake in your room, do you want to know where it is? Because turning on the lights means there's a snake in the room. But leaving the lights off is, I don't know if there's a snake in the room, but if there is, I hope it doesn't get me. Build the gift. If you don't build the gift, you go to the grave full, which is the worst thing ever. It's the richest place in the world is the graveyard. Jess, yes, we can watch you live from TikTok here. Yeah, Yeah, Jess. So and again, this with the school platform, I'm pretty new to school, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the school, um, and for the people that are in the community. Yeah, I saw you join, so welcome. Congratulations. Let the sensory designing begin. We have live classes starting on Tuesday. Check out the calendar. You should have access to it now. And yeah, welcome to the beginning of a very beautiful journey. There's no snakes here in New Zealand. There's no snakes in Hawaii, too. And they say that there's no poisonous animals, but maybe I shouldn't say this. Hawaii wouldn't like that. The richest place in the world is the graveyard. All of the books, all of the music, all of the marriages and children that people didn't bring into the world. It goes to the grave with them. Die on empty. You don't need gasoline in the afterlife. Leave it here. And I guarantee that your gift is not just for you to enjoy. Your gift, I mean, I know my teacher was this way. She was a medium, she was a physical medium. She channeled people. She channeled me. She channeled my, when I first got Reiki, I laid in her hands. She didn't know anything about me. She says, "Oh, you're sad about this girl. She's not the one though." But in my head, I'm like, but she is the one. I love her. Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm with a woman that I really, really love, who is the one, has given me children, has seen the greatness in me and allowed me to manifest it. That's why you guys are getting this version of me right now, by the way, because I have a good woman in my life. And I have children. And I have a woman who keeps me on the straight and narrow. Not that I wasn't awesome before, but I was definitely less available for conversations about my shortcomings before, whereas now I'm much more available. Should I share my singing? Yes. Like if it helps, if okay, and here's the thing. Projections are not all bad, right? If it helps to project. Marco is my big brother and he's going to be disappointed in me if I don't develop my gifts, if I don't share my music. Like I'm okay with you doing that. I'm okay with you projecting that's my big brother and he's going to give me an earful if I don't do the thing that I really want to do. I will do it as kindly as I can. But that is it. That is the opposite of inclusivity. I don't promote inclusivity. You know what happens when you promote inclusivity? You get people shipping animals and you shipping plants to your island that have invasive species that take over the ecosystem and destabilize the entire ecosystem. That's what happens when you're too inclusive. You're lucky to have people around you that feel like your people. And it's the it's not the harder you work, but it's the more time and effort you put in the right place, the luckier you get. Most people are putting too much time and too much energy in the wrong place. Like if you try to grow a tropical plant in a desert, it's not going to grow. So you either have to grow desert plants or move to a tropical zone if you want to grow that plant. You see what I'm saying? Is like you cannot fight and change the reality that you're in. You have to create a new reality that makes the old one obsolete. That was Buckminster Fuller that said that. You don't change reality by fighting the one that you're in. You change reality by creating a new one that makes the old one obsolete. You have to create. You have to create. You are already creating. You have to take responsibility for the thing that you're creating because only then can you start to consciously create the things that you want. So you're still looking for them. The people around me are good, but there is something I'm still looking for. Maybe what I'm looking for doesn't exist. Very possible. I'll tell you this. And again, as your big bro, it's like the thing that you're looking for is inside you. I don't know what it is, Ash, but if it's a song or a book or a dance or a certain relationship with nature or a relationship with one of your organs, and this is where my partner Pasha comes in. because he has showed me how to explore the different layers of my organs. Like, for instance, I'm a reflector, right? When I first found respect me and treat me and listen to me. And then I realized, after not being listened to and consulted like the genius that I thought I was, I realized I don't even listen to myself. Fuck. No wonder all the people around me don't listen to me. And then I started listening to myself. And I found some people who started to treat me the way that I was treating myself. And then it invited me to let go of the people that were treating me substandard to what I knew I deserved. I've started to see this actually the last 4 months. Yes. Yes. And it's wild because it's like cliches are cliches for a reason. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And sometimes you have to let go of good people so that you can have great people in your life, which is so hard. Sometimes you have to let go of a good version of yourself so that you can be the great version of yourself that you've always dreamed of. And here's the reality. Most of the time, before you just like let something go, like, and I say this to avoid anybody being like, I'm leaving my relationship because, or I'm leaving my husband because he doesn't treat me right. It's not, it's not about running away from something. It's what is it that you are running towards? Because the gazelle and the lion run. They both run, but they run for different reasons. The gazelle runs not to be dinner. The lioness runs because she has to provide. And she's hungry. So are you running from something, or do you know what you're running after? Do you know? If you don't pick your life, it will pick you. And even worse, other people will pick you to help build their life. And you can't even blame them. Because if you're looking for direction and it's just, I just want direction, they'll give you direction. Might not be your direction. And if you don't have the faculties to know what it is inside you, like what direction feels right, learning how to find your gift and sharing it happen at the same time. Sharing something for a while that maybe isn't your gift so that you can discover what is your gift. And this is where human design really comes in handy, right? Like my incarnation cross is the cross of rulership, which is primarily about education. Education, the etymology, the origin of the word education is educo, which is to lead out, ation, the process of. So the process of leading information out, the process of manifesting one's self. That's all I'm talking about here, guys. Education, rulership, being able to command your body. I can do backflips. I can fight. I don't say that as like a flex. I just say that as like, I, as a person, I can sing, I can dance, I can sit still. The temple and the body, right, guys? This is where the time and the energy that you're putting into this, that, the other, whatever, that's where it needs to go. And it doesn't mean you need to get in the gym and lift weights, although lifting weights is phenomenal. Fighting, in my opinion, is better. I like the shine in your eyes. Love your father so much. Is he an idol for you? My dad is the kindest, sweetest man I've ever met. And I've met some really wonderful people. But the sweetness and gentleness in my dad is definitely something that inspires me. Um, he is a man, and so he's not perfect, but he was perfect for me. And I miss him a lot, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So what can we do when we're going through a transition of an old self into a newer one? Oh, dude, grieve. Grieving is an act, right? Crying is an act. When you cry, when water leaves your body, water has the highest memory potential out of all the elements. If you look at the way water crystallizes when it freezes, it's not random. It's doing that because the water itself has a memory. And if you look up fascia and myofascial release, which we teach you about this stuff in the archive and in sensory design, guys. So if you're thinking about joining, come join. Grieving is the act of accepting that something meant a lot to you and it's no longer there. Again, you don't fight, you don't change reality. By fighting the existing reality, you create something that makes the old reality obsolete. Let's say you go to your friend's house and he says, "This is my living room. Have a seat. I'll be right back." And you go to pick a seat, but they all have pillows on them. What do you have to do? You got to take the pillows off, or move the pillows, or sit on top of the pillows, which is, depending on how many pillows, it's uncomfortable. But the idea is that if you want to create something new, if you want to breathe something new into your life, you must first make space for it. Most people get caught up on trying to create something new without first grieving and making space within themselves. Yeah. And that means the tears, the sweat, this is unfair. This is not cool. It's all that. It's all the stuff that you're afraid to be perceived in as, because some people might think, oh, he's very emotionally unstable, or why is he so sad about this? Like, it wasn't even that serious of a relationship. We all had friends when we were in school. Like, I remember one of my best friends cracked a joke at my expense when I was younger, and it still sticks with me to this day. It still comes up, especially when the invitation to like sing in front of larger crowds is there. It still comes up. I was singing a Jackson 5 song, and he goes, "Who sings that song?" I was like, "Michael Jackson, bro." He goes, "Oh, you should let him sing it." And inside, I died. And so it's very how you say, powerful, the things that we choose to carry with us. And just as powerful as the things that we choose to leave behind. So if you want something new, you must first sacrifice whatever is taking the space of it. Criticism from others, when that grieving moment, letting go of whatever meant a lot to you. Yeah. And grief too is like, we're each going to process things in our own way. And your mind might think, "Oh, I really need to cry about losing one of my parents," but you might need to rage out. You know what I mean? Like, your body might need something else than the prescription that your mind is giving to it. And if you only know how to listen to your mind, you only know how to navigate life from the mind, it will take you a long time to discover what it is that the body actually needs. There are very few places in the world right now where you can get information and instruction and education on how to actually listen to the body. Most people sell you a method, a yoga sequence, a meditation, a plant medicine experience, a supplement protocol, right? They're sharing the thing that worked for them, which isn't to say that it doesn't work and it won't work for you. But there's a story in the Bible about this, about how if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for his entire life. We are teaching you guys how to fish. We are teaching you guys how to gather data, and not even teaching you, but reminding you that you can do this. Because at one point, you were a baby, and all you knew how to do was this. But then society and your parents and your friends put expectations on you, and you slowly forgot your purity. You wanted to become a part of the thing. So you let go, you buried, you put it somewhere safe so that you could be here today and remember, there's that weird thing that I used to do. there's that weird thing that makes me different than everybody else. But I haven't done it in a while. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. And yeah, you got it, Ellington. The body is always telling you something. Sometimes the body is saying, "Oh my God, we love this. This is great. Don't stop." But the mind says, "Oh God, but what if I can't? What if I can't keep going? What if I? The men can relate to that one quite a bit. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that the mind fucks it up. It's just like it's like a left and the right hand, right? So much ringing in my ears. This is wild. That was a good. Yeah. The last time you laughed like a villain. Yeah. I'm excited to see that replay. Oh, I actually can. On my stream on Instagram, it's a little bit delayed, so I get to see what I just did. That's funny. And the ringing's on. Okay. Did I meet John Martin? As I feel like that name is really familiar. Was he like a human design or a Reiki guy out here in Hawaii? Oh, snap, guys. It's almost time for my next activity. Yeah, it's about that time. Time to wrap it up. Well, sweet. Who's out here in school? Shannon, hello. Jamie, hello. What's up, you guys? You're catching me at the end here. I'll get better at announcing on school when I'm gonna go live, or I'll start to catch a rhythm, and everyone will know when I'm gonna go live. But do my best to prioritize my school is over there, but really the camera for the school is right here. Do my best to prioritize you guys. I'm gonna take care of you, school people. Thanks for the heart, Jamie. Aylin, hello, welcome. Unfortunately, I'm winding the stream down, but I'll finish off with this, guys. We live in a world that is oversaturated with information, courses, teachers, all the stuff. It has never been more challenging to be yourself in a world that is oversaturated with people that are just trying to fit in. The bravest thing that you can do in 2025 is to literally just be yourself. And this is something that you can figure out on your own. And I say this because I figured it out on my own, to the point where I started getting allies showing up who would help me. And if you are listening to my voice, whether it's live or through a recording, I am one of your allies. And I will share the way that I got here. And I will also do my best to protect you from the part of me that wants to say, oh, this is the best way to do it. Because more than that, what I want to see is how you do it. I want to see what you do with the breadcrumbs. I want to see how you show up when you have someone that says, listen, even though I know a shit ton of shit, I don't know how to be you better than you. That's what I want to say. All right, guys. I love you. Don't know if I'm going to be live tomorrow, but I am remembering how much I love going live and connecting with y'all. So thank you for spending this time with me. If something I said landed within you, awesome. If something I said makes sense, whatever. Like, there's so much stuff on the internet, like I said, that makes sense. But if something I'm saying is like really landing with you, follow me. If you're ready to take the next step, join the free community. if you're ready to take the next step after that, pay the subscription. It's only $37 a month, or you can get the whole year for $333, right? Get access to the training, get access to more of the live structured calls, get access to my buddy Pasha, who is probably one of my greatest allies in this journey. He reawakened the warrior within me. He developed sensory design, the whole somatic approach to human design. Figure out where you are, take the next step, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace, guys. Love you. And I'll see you in school. God, I'm such a nerd. I love it. Harry Potter, anyone? Anyone remember that from Harry Potter? Lucius Malfoy is talking to Mr. Weasley and goes, "See you at work." And then Draco goes, "See you in school." Oh, God. Love you guys. Catch you later. Oh, man. All right, my school friends.